Hello and welcome to EliteGuitarist.com. My name is Taso Comanescu, and today I will be teaching you how to play one of my favorite pieces in the classical guitar repertoire, Burgalesa by Federico Moreno Torroba. This beautiful piece was originally written in the key of F sharp before the great Spanish guitarist Maestro Andres Segovia transposed it, or rather took it down a whole step to E major. This makes it, fortunately for us, far more playable, and I personally agree with this decision as the guitar speaks much better in this key, as you have access to open strings as well as the ability to create different resonance within the different chords. And I'll go more into why that is and how you can do that in the tutorial. So, in addition to the technical aspects of the piece, I'll also be going over different phrasing ideas. Some of the ones I've developed over playing this piece in concert for many years, but also through studying the recordings of not only Andres Segovia, but watching the video that you can find on YouTube and the internet basically of Maestro Angel Romero and his interpretation. So lots of cool nuggets of wisdom you can glean from not only those recordings, but also those videos. So let's go ahead and dive in. So part A, or the first part of the piece, is essentially measures 1 through 8. And we're in 6/8 time, and you want to play this piece with plenty of rubato, meaning essentially manipulation of the rhythm. You can respect the score, but I would also encourage you to not be strict with your timing. For instance, you don't want to play the opening straight completely like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So I'll do that one more time without talking. That's how it's written, but maybe you take some time on the first beat and ease into measure 2. So that's a small example of what we're going to be going over today. And rolling chords versus playing them as a block versus all together. So we'll be going over that. Colors. Cello, dolce, different techniques, strumming the strings either with pad thumb or with your nail, getting a much different color there. It's orchestral. In fact, Segovia does a great demonstration of this on his couch in the 1970-something documentary where he's talking about cello and brass and winds and whatnot, and highly recommend you check that out. It definitely influences me when I approach this piece. So, we have 4 sharps, we're in the key of E, we start off mezzo forte, and the tempo is andante, which technically means a walking tempo. So, the very first chord is E9, so it's an E chord with an F sharp in it, and I like to start it as a block chord with no roll, and now the melody is going to be found on the 3rd string. So, beat 1, we have an open E, a B at the 2nd fret of the A string with your 2nd finger, an F sharp at the 4th fret of the D string with your 4th finger, and a G sharp at the 1st fret of the G string with your 1st finger. PIMA in the right hand, block chord, have that ring, move your index finger over 1 fret to A, and then back to G sharp. So 1, 2, 3. Now halfway through the 6/8 bar on beat 4, you're going to shift to 2nd position. You're going to put your 3rd finger on the G sharp, which is the 4th fret of the low E string. You bar along the 2nd fret the A and the D string, so that grabs the B and the E right here. And then you take your 4th finger and you grab that B at the 4th fret of the G string. And I like to roll this and add some vibrato. Let go of your 4th finger to grab the A, which is a part of the bar, and then put it back down on beat 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And you do a little slide off that if you want, maybe on the repeat, because measures 1 through 8 does repeat, so I'll talk about that a little later. So in measure 2, we change positions here on the 2nd 8th note in the first group. By the way, when you're in 6/8, it's helpful to think of 2 groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So if you hear me refer to groupings, that's what I mean. On beat 1, we have, of measure 2, we have open E, B at the 2nd fret of your A string, and then G sharp at the 1st fret with your 1st finger on the G string. This is essentially an E chord, but just with the root in the 3rd. And this G sharp now, you're going to switch positions into 4th position. So 1st finger along the 4th fret, but we're playing with our 3rd finger. G sharp at the 6th fret of the D string. And that's just a nice fat rest stroke. Thinking of Segovia, obviously it helps if you have the wonderful Ramirez guitar, but get that banana thumb there, and you kind of push in. I like to aim kind of right on the inside of the sound hole, right here. Not too far here or here. You get a little tubby, but that's kind of tubby there. You want to find the sweet spot. So 1, 2, 3. Now thumb again. So that G sharp stays down on beat 4. This is the 2nd grouping. A with your 2nd finger at the 5th fret of the low E string. C sharp with your index finger bar at the 4th fret of the A string. Leave everything down and do this quick little ornament from A to G sharp, 7th fret to 6th fret. Light in the right hand, so it speaks. You don't want to whack, because you're going to get a buzz maybe, but also you don't want that to ring out. And then you just release that 3rd finger and the F sharps, a part of the bar. Some people do that, but I don't like that because there's an extra squeak in there, and also you have the resonance. And that's another moment where you think, oh, it's really great that this piece is now in the key of E, because we have access to this root note, bass note here, and we have this beautiful sonority between the 1 and the 4 chord. And then we go into measure 3, which is no roll if you want, or a roll if you want, depends. PIA here, spread the right hand out, so it's E, B at the 2nd fret of the A string, G sharp, 1st fret of the G string. And now you want to do crescendo. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I like to use rest stroke and vibrato, specifically the C natural. Now, you could do a vertical vibrato if you want that more fat sound. Segovia definitely does that. Romero does it for sure. Maybe do it on the repeat. So the first time, you could just have the normal classical vibrato. If you want a slightly fatter one there, you'll leave all 3 fingers down. But if you want the fattest of all, you'll go with a couple fingers, or even with 1, and do that rock and roll vertical vibrato, which works really well, by the way, in the first 4 frets, as I was taught during my time studying with not only Pepe Romero, but Christopher Parkening as well. Very effective to use vertical vibrato in those first 4 frets. So back to the music, measure 3, we're here, that's where we left off. You shift on the and of 2 to A, 2nd fret of the G string, B, 3rd fret, A, 2nd fret of the G string, B, 4th fret with your 3rd finger, then the 5th fret with your 4th finger on the C natural, add that open A, back to B, and then A. So you're just going up. So you just go up, come down. You can save that rest stroke if you want. I'm kind of doing a slice rest stroke there. You could rest stroke the whole time. Really depends on what environment you're in. Obviously, I'm in a recording session right now, so I don't have to project to an audience of, say, 50, 100, if I'm lucky, a couple hundred. So I might play it a bit differently. And that's something you want to keep in mind. Know your audience, who you're playing to, and how much rest stroke you really need to put in. You could always do the light rest stroke and still get that fatter sound. So this cadence is on the A minor chord, which is the borrowed 4 into measure 4. Open B, accent that with the rest stroke. Open E, B outlining an E chord here, so this is 2nd fret of the A string. And then I am here on the right hand. E with your 3rd finger, G sharp with your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the G string. Just your E chord shape. So for measure 3, kind of trail off there because the melody's here and this is accompaniment. You do not want to do this. Okay? So let's demonstrate now measures 1 through 4, the first phrase, slowly. Okay, moving on to the next part of section A. This is the phrase found in measures 5 through 8.